Hey everybody, Cassie here with the trick of the week. This is a level 2 trick and it is a different variation of the rolling sequence, okay? So this variation I usually teach to my students towards the end of the week when they're learning the rolling sequence. So as you might know from my other videos, in a week I typically teach the same trick to my students in all of my level 2 or level 3 classes throughout the week so that students can get a few chances throughout the week to try it and to learn different variations of it, okay? So this is the wind-up rolling sequence. It's a little bit different. The prerequisites for this are, wind-up, and that uneven starfish, and ideally, the roll from half starfish into your thoracic or seatbelt wrap. However, that's not totally a necessary prerequisite. It could be learned on the day that you learn this trick. The hardest part about that last little bit though is students that are not really adept to using their pelvis to push forward and roll, scissor kick themselves through things will probably land on their crotches. So it is not the most pleasant thing as you're starting to learn it, but eventually it becomes a really fun trick. So warm-ups for this, I would definitely do my fan kicks with students. We would do lots of roll-ups. If you're not sure what a roll-up is, this is just an easier way to warm up your back for this sequence. You start, I've got a straddle invert because my fabric is pretty high today, but you bring one thigh into your swing, and then you're grabbing onto the handle of the leg that's free, and there are two different ways to do it. The first way is easier. The second way, you're opening your chest a little bit more, you're getting more of a quad stretch. It looks a lot smoother, but it's more difficult. So the first way that I do this with a long leg, just swing it forward, up through the center of the fabric until you've got your butt floss, and then roll all the way back down. The second way you can do that is with a bent knee. Lead with your knee through the center of the fabric as you come up. I'm not super warm, my fabric's kind of high, so you saw that my foot hit the swing behind me. Ideally it wouldn't, but it's okay if it does. All right, so going through the prerequisites. First, as I was ready to teach this trick to my students, I would have them do probably 3 or 4 wind-ups on each side. So, for your wind-up, a couple of important points. So you start in your seatbelt wrap and come into your half starfish. In my pigeon pose, let you engage through your hamstring, keep kicking your leg behind you so that your leg stays pretty much where it is as you crunch up, grab your handles, then kick your wrap leg out away from you, pull up onto your thoracic of your free leg for your half starfish. Now, the wind up. You want to be careful here. You don't want to pull up too much that you get really vertical and just slip the fabric into your butt. But you also don't want to be loosey-goosey and just leaning your weight into your free handle. So I'm going to grab onto my free handle. I'm going to bring my free leg up through the center. As soon as my leg gets up and through the center, I pull up just enough, use my hips to follow through with a full roll, and then sink into it. So I'm in 2 wraps on my one thigh for a wind-up, okay? And then the regular way to get out of that is to grab onto the handle of the leg that's free. You need to pull up as you lift, come forward through the center of the fabric to free yourself, okay? Then you can get out however you'd like, there. So that's the first step. The second step is going from there into uneven starfish, but trying to make sure that you're not super lopsided. You will definitely be at least a little bit lopsided, but it could be more or less exaggerated. So, from that single windup, I don't know if shorts is a good idea today. Bring your free leg up through the center, roll. Now from here, I'm going to lean back, spread my free leg out wide, invert, and try to get the fabric onto my sacrum. Okay, so I'm basically in another seatbelt wrap. Then I'm going to wrap my free leg around the fabric, hook at my knee, and try to let my other leg shoot to the ceiling. Now because I'm in shorts, the fabric is not sliding against my skin very well. If you were in pants, the fabric would adjust a little bit with your fabric, your clothing fabric, and it would be easier for you to crunch up and come into another starfish. This is actually pretty even for my uneven starfish, okay? So from here, I'm gonna roll into regular starfish. Now last week you learned that whatever leg does the action, the effect is on your opposite leg. And it's important to remember that from here because you got into this a different way than we did last week. So my right leg is wrapped twice. To unwrap it, I grab both of my hands onto my left handle. I roll forward, allow my left leg to come up through the center. Then I grab my right handle, lift up, and adjust. And again, because I'm in shorts, that adjustment, not so great. Okay? Now this rolling sequence is a little bit different than last week because last week I would have tried to keep grabbing the same handle throughout my sequence. I'd go forward and do a pike through. But on this sequence, we're going side to side to side, sort of like unlacing your shoes. So as I come here, I'm going to come into half starfish. Now, if my right leg does the work, it unwraps my left leg. So I'm going to reach my left hand forward just to make it nice and clean. As I come forward, my leg comes up through the center of the fabric, and I'm back where I started initially in my half starfish. And again, you can get out of it however you want. So after doing the wind up, I would show that to my students, have them do that about 3 or 4 times on each side. And then I would show them the final hardest piece, which is going from that half starfish. You roll forward again and try to land either on your sacrum or your thoracic. Now, what is very important here is that you don't just sink your weight into the swing. You also don't completely pull yourself up either. You try to scissor your legs, use your pelvis to help you roll forward. As you roll forward, you take your free leg, slice it up through the center of your handles so that you can turn back and face forward, and you'll either land on your thoracic or on your seatbelt. Over time, you'll have the ability to stop yourself where you want to be, but just get the mechanics down for now. So I have students do this about 3 or 4 times on each side. So from your half starfish, I'm going to grab onto the handle of my leg that's free, reach my other hand forward. As I come forward, down, leg up through the center of my fabric, and I let myself come down into my thoracic. If I had let my legs just go wide and inverted again, I would be back in my seatbelt wrap. So that's another really fun spin on the rolling sequence. It looks really elegant, going from one handle to the next, to the last, to wind yourself all the way down back into seatbelt or whatever you want. If you do land in seatbelt, it can be really fun then to go straight into the other side. And that would probably be my final homework for students in my class if we have, say, 5 minutes left before I need to cool them down, is I would ask them, see if you can do one side and go straight into the other, and add in any other cool little things that you like along the way. All right, so I hope you enjoy that. If you have any questions, just comment below. This one, it's just really important that your chest is really warm, that your core is strong, and that you're ready to use your pelvis. You're not ODing your upper body to help you roll. All right, bye guys.